looking for something. A new way, a new understanding, a connection, some comfort. You've got questions, and Light on Living puts the spotlight on all the answers so you can shine. Lift and lighten the load of life's challenges and learn simple and easy ways to live a healthy, happy life. You'll gain insight and start to see things in a new way that motivates you. You're invited to hear new, see different, and feel more as Lisa shines the light on living.
Hello. Welcome, everyone, to Light on Living. I'm your host, Lisa Berry, giving you reasons to feel good. And what I love to do is bring exceptional authors onto the show to be able to express their experiences, which they've put into writing, because they're all authors, and then they get to share that with you and bring all the goodies that can help you with holistic happiness. And today, this is a really fun show today, and I know I say that about them all, but it's extra fun because this particular author, when I read her book, which is so much fun, it's like, you know, when you're having a party and you invite all your guests over and get your house really ready and you want it to be so much, you know, you want to cater to your guests. You want them to feel good. You want to really create this experience, and you want to be in your best mood and a big smile on your face and an open heart. Well, that's what I feel like when I read her book. I feel like she's welcoming me into her heart and saying, come on in and let's have fun and let's just shine and have joy. And imagine that. Her name is Joy. So I would love to bring on and welcome Joy Resor to the show. And just before I do that, Joy, because I know you're there, I'm going to just read her bio because she's just full of like sunshine. Well, Joy Resor is a spiritual counselor. She's children's author and joy bringer who inspires love, peace, and joy on the path of those she encounters every day. She lives in North Carolina, where she, ready for this, where she hula hoops in sunbeams. She writes books that inspire folks to a deeper life of love and shares adventures with her partner, Michael. Joy's inner child will share laughter with you at any moment, and I can attest to that. So welcome, Joy. I'm so excited that you're here.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It is wonderful to be here with you.
Aw, you know, when we spoke, I thought it'd be a couple months, which is crazy. You know what? I think you were on vacation, and you had just this. Even when I just spoke with you, I mean, the time flew. We must have spoke for over half an hour, and you're just so. You really are joy-filled, and I know I'm going to start with this, but you were really named Joy before your mom knew you. So, did she just know, or did that influence you?
I'm so sorry. I didn't hear the end of that question.
Oh, sorry. Just with your name being Joy, and that's really what you exude and do. It's like, I was thinking, how would she have known? Like, it was kind of like predestined that you would be doing this. Were you always joyful and happy and shiny?
Thank you. What happened was when I asked my mother when I was 40, tell me about naming me. And I was kind of attached that I expected her to say, oh, you were our bundle of joy. She instead said, if you were a boy, you were going to be Roy. And, you know, something in me deflated at that moment, but what joy, that name that I was given as a birth name, at some point in my life, it became a beacon of who I desired to be. So that when I was a girl, there was my essence. You know, I'm sure I touched so many lives with who I was, but came the time in life where I started writing every day in my journal a prayer to become the joy I am created to be, because I felt that I had this bag on my back of wounds. My family really squashed my joy.
Oh.
And I don't know if you or any of the listeners have ever heard this idea that sometimes our soul, you know, gathers with these other souls. And we say, and they said to me, Joy, it's your turn to become a really amazing person, but we have agreed to be your family and to just slam doors against you, swear at you, tell you that you don't belong. I mean, I have goosebumps of how I was a sensitive, feeling child in a family that was very caustic to who I was.
Oh, wow.
But,
I'm glad you're sharing this right now, because a lot of people see happy people and think, oh, they're just like that. They're just born that way. But you're really acknowledging and flipping it around so that you can appreciate I love that you said that, the bag of wounds that we're carrying around as a gift from your family members.
yes, because I see that from this vantage point, that it was a call to me, because I did have a guy, like when I was in my 20s, working at a bank in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, and this man at another company that I needed to have collegial connections with, he said to me one day, he goes, Joy, just put that bag down.
Oh.
And I believe I was at a time in my life when more and more was coming up to be healed, because I was likely at that stage engaged to be married. My parents had wanted me to marry a Jewish guy, and because I was raised Jewish and I was marrying an Episcopalian man, so things were coming up, and I probably was sharing a little bit with him because I am a completely non-threatening person who it's so easy for me to share with people I hardly know.
Aw, I'm so happy you are.
Thank you. Yeah.
I love that you said that word for a second there. You're non-threatening. So I have to, that's like, it has stars around it with me right now. When you say non-threatening, what's funny? If I were to think of people in my life who I've encountered or that are there who are threatening, that's a heavy word, because you're right. We feel threatened by some people. And of course we wouldn't want to share, or we wouldn't, because they're going to hurt us. And so when you say that, what can you tell us what the threatening people around us? What do they look like? What is their behavior that we can kind of put our little sensors up to and go, oh wait, I'm feeling threatened by you, so maybe I could do this.
Well, I think I'm actually not encountering them in my life these days. I believe that my vibration has gotten so high, and I am such a person of light, love and light and peace, that I'm attracting very lovely people. But who I know, what I had felt, sometimes I would walk into a room, and maybe other people, you listening, can feel this, that we can feel often heavy energy, and we feel closed energy, and we see it when people have their arms across their chest. They maybe have a scowl on their face. People that are looking down, they may be just yelling, and that feels threatening to me. If I was in a place where someone was screaming, I might head towards the exit. I don't know. I haven't encountered something that has really made me feel so scared in a long time.
Yeah. That is beautiful. That is so beautiful. And I love that you said you head towards the exit, because that's what we need to do. We need to, so I have a fun question. Did you use that writing in the journal when you were, I want to become more joy-filled, and you're writing your prayer? Is that how we can head towards the exit of a bad situation?
Oh gosh, I would recommend writing to any person. Yes, Lisa. Writing, well, I wonder how many people are familiar with a very classic book called I just forgot the name of it, right? The Artist's Way. A Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity by Julia Cameron with Mark Bryan. And on the top of it, it says, A Course in Discovering and Recovering Your Creative Self. So for me, it was through, I had such deep creative wounds. And I call them that because my father, bless his departed soul, he would yell, why would I want to go to the band concert? Those kids can't play. And, you know, again, I have goosebumps because there I was standing in the living room with my dad yelling. I had been practicing my bassoon for months and months and months. I was in the concert band. So, and there were other ways that my creative wounds were hurt. But what I love is that because I had written this, I feel that because I had written in my journal day after day to become a better version of me, I believe because something in me understood that the more we can heal who we are, the better off the world is. And I feel that my life became highly synchronistic, you know, that I would write about a person in the morning who came into my awareness in my prayer journal, and then I hadn't seen them in months, and lo and behold, that day in the grocery store, there they were. And I started living a really life in synchronicity. And so I recommend, but what I was saying was writing, it gets thoughts and anguish and pain out of your head, maybe even out of your heart, and it puts it on the page. For me, and I connected that to the Artist's Way because it's her recipe. She tells us to write when we first wake up. She calls them morning pages. Write three longhand pages in the morning to simply empty yourself. And this is an amazing process of emptying. And then Julia also recommends we take ourselves once a week. And she calls it an artist's date. It is to an aquarium, to a button museum, to a poetry reading. You know, it's somewhere to fill the creative well of who we are.
That is so beautiful.
And
I love the emptying yourself, and that one's a big one because I'm thinking of the opposite, like when you are so filled up and you need to explode, whether it's happy and positive or it's overwhelmed, frustration, or you feeling unfairness going on. It is a great way. You really do. Like emptying yourself is like taking out the trash. I get so excited on garbage day. Like I wake up, oh my gosh, garbage day, I'm so excited, and I get to get rid of it and start from fresh. And so it sounds like that's what that is. It's like you get to take out the garbage. It's garbage, recycling, and compost all in one day.
Yes. And what's so fascinating for me personally is to just watch my practice, because since I have sat in the same chair for decades, I call it my sacred chair, every morning, where I have this spiritual practice that includes writing and reading devotionals and writing 5 things that I'm grateful for. But my morning pages are completely, they are not what they were. I don't have any garbage in me anymore. And and that is why these books, when people say to me, how did you think of writing this? It wasn't a thought process. It was that I have become a channel for goodness, for beautiful language that will support the healing of the world.
Oh my goodness, support the healing of the world. My God, I love that.
I am. So my writing in the morning now is really interesting because what it is I say, thank you for this day. Yesterday, da-da-da-da-da happened, and I'll say what I learned yesterday, perhaps if I received a lesson, and I'll write about the day and the joys of connecting with so-and-so that I connected with, and then my way of a to-do list is I simply write in my journal, today, and I name, it's my shorthand way of naming what I believe the day will hold. And this is because I'm no longer a type A individual where I am running from here to there to here to there. And I do love having days with something amazing on them, like,
you know what? On that note, because we're going to have to scooch to commercial, I want everybody right now who is recognizing themselves as a type A person and you would like to soften that, join us when we come back from the commercial because Joy's going to help share with you how you can step away from being that A-type personality. All right, we'll be right back after this commercial.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at omtimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
I can't really be that worthless. I can't really be that stupid, weak, fearful, unlovable. I just really can't be that broken. Wow, those beliefs have slammed the door shut on my heart, stopping me from stepping into my greatness. Does this sound all too familiar to you? What if those beliefs aren't true? What if those false beliefs are creating resistance and blocking you from your own success, your power, and your happiness? What if you could break down the walls of doubt and rise from resistance to resilience? Well, now you can. Just like 11 other women overcame impossible odds with courage, strength, and determination. The truth is, your shift matters, and you're not alone. And others share their story to help guide you along your freeing experience to confidence, joy, and love. Tune into Light on Living's Your Shift Matters series to hear from 8 of the 11 co-authors of the #1 bestseller on Amazon, Your Shift Matters, Resistance to Resilience, compiled by Dana Zarcone. Get your copy, read their stories, then join us as we get to experience their inspiring words personally.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me the Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, And she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're here with Light on Living. I'm your host, Lisa Berry, and I have Joy Resor here. She is the author, well, a bunch of things, but we're talking about her wonderful book here, Designed to Shine, Read Aloud Rhymes for Any Size Heart. And I just love that title, and I do want to point out that this is a lovely illustrated book. It's so much fun, actually, and it is by Lauren Connell. I hope I said that right. And she's done all the lovely, just fun pictures. Before we went off to commercial there, I really want to I was doing a shout out to all the type A personalities out there, and we're gonna share a little tidbit with you. But before that, I do want to read aloud one of Joy. She's going to be reading too, but I want to read one of it's the alphabet. So we go through the whole alphabet, and I am choosing the letter S, and it's the Shine page, and I would just love to share that joy with everybody right now. It's Shine, so S. Today marks the start to shine as a light, which starts deep inside where peace makes it bright. What steps can you take to polish this shine? Write poems, take walks, watch ants march in line. Your soul knows the path, your soul speaks within. It calls in the night, it loves to begin. To shine through your smile, to speak in your heart. Allow your bright shine, today is the start. I just love that. Oh, Joy, it's so beautiful.
Thank you. And hearing you read my rhyme, this rhyme that came through me, it gives me, I'm just getting all goosebumpy here.
It's such a fun book, and and I do want to address that. So, intentional, like you're saying that this, it comes through you, and when we are intentional, it doesn't mean that we are stopping the flow. It doesn't mean that we are, so rigid. It just means that we have, well, what would you say living intentionally is? So all those type A people can still do their type A stuff, but then allow that flow.
Yes, I would say definitely breathe more. And the concept of allowing is one that is beautiful, that could aid a type A person. It is lessening that grip on controlling what is going to happen.
Oh, that's a good one.
Can we allow, and this was something I learned along my path, that I was tight in my body. I mean, rigid, you used that word, Lisa, but everything about me I was a perfectionist. My body was rigid. My thoughts were rigid. But for me, the intention that I had, this deep soul intention and desire to become a better version of me. And I believe that can you imagine if so many people on our planet desired to simply become a better version of who they are, and then gave their soul a little bit of time and space to breathe into changing habits and practices so that they could become a shinier version of themselves.
Oh, it's so, you know what, you're right. And that slight elevation, just like you said, I like to give the whole world that piece of homework. Everybody in the they could just, I had written that down as one of my lines that I love that you said, to become a better version of me. And I think that your whole book from A to Z is literally a little poem that does inspire that in people. Why did you choose rhymes? Did you choose that, or did it happen?
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. I didn't choose it. Yes, it happened. It happened to me. But my birth date is a rhyme. I won't give my birth date to the world at this moment, but it is a rhyme. And what happened with this book is I believe in my journaling came the first rhyme about attention. I just was writing, and I'm like, attention, today sparkles new with a bright, shiny view. And that first rhyme came in my handwritten journal, and then I went over to the computer to see what that might be. And 7 pages later, I had attention, balance, change, dance. And I looked at it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am writing a children's book in rhyme that will speak to anybody.
Any size.
And I knew, pardon me?
Any size heart, as your line.
Any size. Yeah, any size heart, because what I also realized was that this book speaks to the inner children. So many of us have or had inner children who are not healed. We didn't get what we needed when we were children. And that when this book came, I thought, wow, this would speak to that, Uncle Harry, who's kind of grouchy, but if he has a little bit of an opening inside his heart where he would listen to these rhymes, it would bring him something beautiful.
I love that you're so, now when you use the word beautiful about that, and I want to share how I feel that they're beautiful, is because of the rhyming and because of the lightness to them, it's easy. It's easy to read them. It's easy to allow them in. When, sometimes we can get really heady and we're reading a book and it's like this in-depth, it's trying to pull our focus into a new way of thinking or feeling. But the rhyming is just so imaginative and creative and playful that it actually it can't help but guide our hearts to open a little. That's what I found.
Oh, yes, and I think, and I wouldn't doubt that that's why. I mean, my books each have a story of the way they came to me to write them, and I really wouldn't be surprised that this came in rhyme, but I know it's got consciousness in it. It's got kindness and mindfulness in it. And on the back, I think I use the term like it's a gentle teacher.
Yes.
And yeah, really digestible. People could read one rhyme a day, a week. You could read one a week and talk about that in your family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great, yes. Like having not a lesson, but something that's fun and opens conversation. And in fact, I'm glad you just mentioned the back of the book. I'm going to read the back of the book because everybody can really kind of grasp what this book is all about. It's open any page of Design to Shine for a rhyme with art for your heart. Topics will lead you and your loved ones into fun, laughter, and joy, and onto the dance floor. And it is fun, dance of the conversation. You'll receive ideas to pay attention in new ways, reminders about kindness, and so much more in this alphabetic treasure. This is a book, a guide and a gentle teacher all at once. It's a book for you, your inner child, for your child or your inner child, about loving who we are to shine in the world. It's just reading that makes me happy.
Hooray! Hooray! I am no longer hiding and in shame and blah 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 and wounds, and I am bringing light and fun and play. Play is a part of being a joyful person. And serious. May I read a poem from, because I just realized that there's a second volume of Design to Shine that will come out late this year, probably. I have not yet. I'm not contracted with an illustrator.
Oh.
Yeah, the date isn't set. But this Goofy. Okay, so G in the first book is grateful. G in the second book is goofy, and it says, "Grown-ups, oh grown-ups, please settle your minds from serious ways so often designed. Lean into goofy, give silly a try. How will this look as the twisting by? Would you skip? Would you hop? Would you plop on a swing? Would you gather a goose, smooth her feathery wing? How would more goofy add joy to your day? Let goofy ideas explode into play."
I love that so much. Oh, and you know, I actually felt the goose's feathers under my fingers, I swear, when you said that.
Nice.
It's a touching of it, yes.
And when I read it, I remembered how my partner and we had bubbles in his car. And after we took a hike, I said, "Can we blow bubbles?" We were on a mountain. And he's like, and he says, of course, to everything that I say, which is why this relationship is totally great. And so many people came over and wanted to blow bubbles, adults. And so, you know, I think that, well, of course, in every adult is a child.
Yeah.
We are all of the ages that we were.
Yeah. That's beautiful. We are, I'm writing this down actually, we are all the ages that we were. We've experienced them all, and we can go back. And, you know, I love that in your bio, it talks about you hula hooping. Because on Sunbeams, because I play with my cats to do this, and I create cat games for them all the time because I always think they need to be stimulated differently. But it's selfish. It's for me because I like to play, and I like playing with them. And I have a hula hoop for my cats because they like, there's little, I don't know what's actually in them. I think it's rice maybe, or something that makes this shaky sound. And I lay the hula hoop on the floor for them, and I shake it a little bit, and they look for something that's under it, around it. And it's, if we don't play, what happens when we don't play? What happens when we don't play?
Oh, gosh. Well, our energy can get very heavy. I think that, all those words like serious, heavy, angst, they are heavy energies. And moving our body, hooping in a sunbeam, every time I do it, it just raises my energy into a higher place. And I was led to the hula hoop actually from the book I earlier mentioned, The Artist's Way, because as I was healing my creativity to open myself up to be a creative person again, she said, "Well, what did you used to do when you were a child that you loved?" For me, one of the things was I hula hooped. The next day, in the frozen food department of a store, there was one pink hula hoop, and I felt it as a synchronicity. That was my hula hoop, across from the Stouffer's frozen meal. And then over the years, I cannot sit too long. I think when I was a child, I was extremely active. I was doing every sport, roller skating, bike riding, climbing trees, running. And these days, I intentionally work to put more movement back into my life. And sitting out for a certain period, then I'm like, ooh, I've got a hoop. It just, it just is what I need to do. I don't think that we are designed to sit all day. And I actually have one of those desks that I can raise up higher and I can stand for a while. I'm going
to actually include this as well, because I'm going to ask you what some of your tips are, but I'm going to share that as a tip right now. It is about movement, and it's not just about sitting and being stagnant, like, because we can sit and still move around, but it is really including fun movement that brings you joy, and like what you're saying, movement, not just to get up and walk around, but movement that really, like hooping. I love that you use that as a verb, hooping. But we have 1 minute left, and I will put that little question to you so when we come back, but what are some other tips other than movement that can help us write? Because a lot of the times, sometimes I know if I am a writer, so that I do write, but somebody who doesn't write to sit and think, gosh, I'm going to write 3 pages? Like, it sounds like a chore at first. So I'm going to ask you for when we get back, what are some ways to really flow through? But if I may, I would love to read I'd love to read the letter N for everybody as we go into commercial. Okay? So N, I just know this one, is for nature. Oh, but you're going into commercial. When we come back, we're going to read it. I missed out.
The best of holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine and tune in for Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Linda creates sacred space for leading female luminaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. A soulful venue where guests openly share the fears and obstacles they've overcome, wisdom and lessons learned, and the personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic, soulful living.
Enjoy passive income benefits while creating a cottage experience for others. From a relaxing getaway to connecting with nature, sitting around flickering campfire light, dipping in cool, refreshing waters, strengthening your body with biking, hiking, boating, and swimming. And you have the cottage that could be a part of all of those memories while earning you money. Financial abundance as a thank you for renting your cottage. Become a cottage rental owner today, safely and supported. RentCottage.com.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Well, we have Joy Resor here with us today, author of Design to Shine, Read Aloud Rhymes for Any Size Heart. And she's here with us on Light on Living. And as always, I'm your host, Lisa Berry. But Joy, I just wanted to jump into read the letter N from your book because it's something that really, really got it opened me up. It just allowed my imagination and my heart just to really feel open. So I want to share that with everybody, and then we'll get into some tips for writing. So N is for nature here. Forests of pine trees, red buds of pink, lightning bug nights, you watch their lights blink. Squirrels on a tree, ducks quacking away, a field full of horses who eat lots of hay. Sheep sheared for wool, sweet grass in our toes, parks to ride bikes, rivers to row. The sweet earth below us, the blue sky above, a world overflowing with nature to love. And I got to see horses eating hay yesterday, so when I was reading that, I was like, oh!
Oh, nice.
I was driving by and I went, oh, they're eating their lunch. You know, it's just like, oh, it's lunchtime. And just connecting with nature. This is actually, so that's my favorite one, by the way. It's it's hard to pick, but that one really is my favorite because that opens everything. You pick the most perfect things for me, it seems, and I hope for others, but really to let go of whatever could have been stressful. Like anything. So is that what you find? Like it just clears away?
Yeah, I was when my younger son read it when it was before it came in the world, and this 28-year-old person saying to me, Mom, it made me feel lighter. It made me feel more open. And I thought, wow, if he said that, that's really great. Yeah.
It really is for any size heart, which is what you're saying is any age.
Well, yes. And I'll say that when I've been able to share a rhyme with somebody, I often have it with me and I say, may I share a rhyme with you? And if, and, you know, with cashiers, with people in parks, but
oh my goodness.
To watch what happens, it is really, it feels like a divine appointment, and to connect our hearts because they just brighten, their smile, they feel uplifted, and they elbow the person next to them and they say, give her a letter, she'll read one for you.
I love that. Oh, you just gave me an idea, if I may. Because I was thinking of, what's that game show? They turn the letters around. Oh, gosh. Why can't I think of it? You know, Vanna White, and she goes and she turns the letters if you spin.
Yeah.
What is that game show called? My gosh, I can't believe I'm trying to find. Doesn't matter. But it'd be fun to every day for like a week or something. We can have somebody give us a letter that they want, and then we can post that poem. Not to give away the whole book though, because you guys got to buy it. But to share a little bit, and do you often think that people pick a letter that is that starts like mine? I would pick L maybe because my name's Lisa. Like, do you find that there's a kind of like a system that people go with for picking a letter that they like?
Yeah, they tend to pick their own name, letter, or their grandchild's letter.
Right. Yes. So even the word, even the letter starts uplifting because we're thinking of it's like self-love or a willingness to get to know, a willingness to want the best part of it, like what you said, doing that better version of becoming the better version of ourselves. Well, so I do want to ask those because I know you have some tips about how we can, whether you're a beginner writer, whether you're a professional, I mean, there's no, writing's writing. What are some ways that we can open up and just start?
Thank you. Oh, I would suggest be very gentle with yourself, starting any new practice, and probably long-time writers know this, but I used to teach some writing classes, and I would say to my students, any sit and start is good. We're not here to judge the writing. We are here to allow our pen to move across the paper. I do recommend that you start with this longhand process because it does connect with the heart differently than typing at a keyboard. So if you can, yeah.
So longhand, meaning pen in hand to paper.
Correct, right. And also for all of us, and I'm even at a new start in my own life, is to create more space and time to write. And I know that for me, it also has to do with settling my nervous system down. Because, for example, last week was a highly exciting week for me. And it had to do with different things that happened in my life. And then the weekend that I spent with my partner, we were very mellow. And I realized that I create a monthly newsletter, a highly inspired newsletter, and I need to calm myself into a deep place to write that. So a tip for people that want to write, because I've had so many people say to me, I can't.
Yeah.
They sit there with the pen and they can't. And then the advice I give is write, I hate this. I don't want to be sitting here with a pen writing. But when you stay with the resistance, you can write past the resistance.
Oh, I love that. That is so true. Because you're just writing about how you're feeling and not judging.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. When you had said earlier, I wrote it down too. I write a lot. You said write about your day from before. So just tell the story what happened yesterday, and then what are you going to do today? Even if it sounds like you're not really writing anything about anything, but it is calming to the nervous system. Because you know what? Typing on your phone, I can zip around and type, but when I actually used to get upset when I had to handwrite again. I'm like, that takes forever. This is like archaic, But
yes, but it is. It's a slower process. It slows us down. And with the speed of the world and the speed of conversation, fast is not the answer. May I read a rhyme from the next book that showed up here?
Yes, absolutely.
The topic is hurry. Hurry yourself into slowing way down, since too much flurry can give you a frown. You could bump into walls or stub your big toe. When fast is your path, accidents grow. Give up your hurry, add space to your time. Let daydreams roll into 8 ways to be kind. Breathe into pause, let ease lead the way. Where calm lights your sight for a slow shine, hooray!
Joy, I love that one. And my favorite line in there was add space to your time. It sounds like you're a wizard and it's magical. I love that right now. That literally is, I'm going to use that for my entire day today. Like that's my line. Add space to your time. It's so beautiful. This next book, my gosh, I hope it does come out soon. I have a burning question, because you write all kinds of things. You're a writer, you're an author, and you do the rhyming. And then we hear the word poetry. Now, this is my burning question. Does poetry always have to rhyme?
No. Emphatically, no.
So how does poetry work then? Because maybe that's something that somebody says, I don't want to write a book and I don't want to write a story and I don't know how to do rhyming, but what is poetry then?
My understanding of poetry is that it is a place to capture feelings, observations, understandings in a format that is shorter than prose and in a way that can be so interesting and opening. And if I may name something here, Lisa, is that all right?
Yes, absolutely.
There is a poem in my first book that spoke, it had come through me, this poem, like when I was in a very meditative state. And I even could read it if you desire.
Yes, I would love that.
Okay, I'm going to find it in this book. I didn't mark it.
I just think it's such a gift that you're right now, that you're offering to people another, like, I really think that this will help people who just really don't want to write a whole story and they don't know where to start. I think poetry, because I love the way you said that it captures feelings and observations in a type of structure, like a way to do this. So this is going to be such a gift, this example that you're giving. I can't wait.
Okay, thank you. I will read it, and I want to say what happened, that the man I've been dating for 1 year had bought my first book, Go Enjoy an Alphabetical Adventure, which is questions, essays, and poems. And this poem that I'm about to read touched him in such a deep place that it encouraged him to write me a beautiful card, which was the beginning of us connecting. Because we had known each other, basically said, hello, Michael, hello, Joy, hello, Michael, hello, Joy. We shared presence for a long time before he realized from this poem, I really want to know her more. And how this poem came to me, I love this and this method, and I will recommend it to anybody, is that you write a line that comes to you from something happening in the world. So you're looking out the window and you say, the bluebird is singing so sweetly. And you just allow the next words to come, and they could take you somewhere that you never expected. And that's what happened here. Okay, so the poem is called Of Dreams. Rain drenches a yard. Rivers run banks, chasing lives to higher ground. And you do a rain dance in your mind. Gaze upon cracked mounds of earth. Dream of water sprites. Some dreams before yours and mine died in silence. Some spent time behind bars. Some took flight. Awake or sleeping, we choose a path. Wake up, my friend, come dream with me.
There's so much in there. And yet it is complete. It's beautiful. It's each line, you're right. I love that. And anybody can do that. They can just share and open up. And I do want to, because we're in our last minute, which is so sad, but we're going to have to put Joy to this, because that means everybody could be inspired and maybe they could add space to their time and write a line. But I do want to share with everybody, if you do want to get in touch with Joy, she is www.joyonyourshoulders.com. Or you can find her on Facebook. It's Joy Resor, Resor, R-E-S-O-R. And in our literally last 30 seconds, if there's anything you'd like to share with us, I just want to invite everybody to be creative that way. But please, 30 seconds for you, my love.
Oh, thank you. I am so grateful to have this opportunity to share with you and with our listeners. And I wish everyone a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day.
Oh, I think everybody go hula hoop. You are designed to shine. That's the book. And please pick up a copy of this, Designed to Shine, Read Aloud Rhymes for Any Size Heart by Joy Resor and illustrated by Lauren Connell. Thank you once again, everybody, for this lovely time that we share together. And please, everybody, add space to your time. Thank you so much, Joy. I'm going to be talking to you very shortly, but you have a beautiful day, too.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.